Tears spilled from the corners of my swollen eyes. I should have known better than to expect anything from them. In the end, I dialed for emergency services. Each second dragged on like a lifetime. My airway tightened, and breathing became a chore. I could barely hold on to direct the rescue team to my street. When the storage room door finally opened, everything went dark. The first thing I registered when the storage room door creaked open was the harsh glow of a flashlight cutting through the darkness, followed by the muffled sound of voices. Strangers, thank God, not my family. My vision was blurred by swelling, my skin burning with 1,000 tiny pinpricks, my throat so tight I could barely gasp out a word. The last thing I remembered was dialing the emergency number, my fingers slipping on the screen, before the world tilted and went black. When I woke up again, I was back in the hospital, hooked up to an 4-drip, my arm strapped to the bed. The room was quiet, save for the steady beep of the heart monitor beside me. A nurse was checking my vitals, her expression kind but cautious. "You're lucky, honey," she said, adjusting the oxygen tube under my nose. "The paramedics found you just in time. Your anaphylactic reaction was severe. Any later, and you might not have made it." I nodded, my throat too sore to speak. My eyes scanned the room, half expecting to see my family crowding the doorway, their faces twisted with fake concern. But there was no one. No mom with a glass of mango juice she'd forgotten I was allergic to. No dad yelling about my unlikable attitude. No Joshua sneering about how I'd ruined Yvette's day. No Joel, with his daisies and his empty promises of a postponed wedding. The nurse must have seen the look on my face, because she sighed and handed me my phone. "Your family called," she said, her voice soft. "Left a bunch of messages. Said they were sorry they couldn't make it. Something about a last-minute trip to Aurora Bay for your sister's birthday present. They asked if you'd be okay alone." I stared at the phone, my fingers hovering over the screen. I didn't need to listen to the messages to know what they said. They'd apologize for being busy, blame me for overreacting, and then move on like nothing had happened, just like they always did. I deleted the messages without opening them. Then I pulled up my bank app. Over the years, I'd saved every penny I could, from the part-time jobs I'd worked throughout college, from the small bonuses I'd earned at my office job, from the birthday checks my grandparents had sent that I'd never cashed, too scared to waste money on myself when Yvette might want something. It wasn't a fortune, but it was enough. Enough to get me out of this town, far away from the family that had never loved me. I texted my boss, telling her I'd be taking an indefinite leave of absence. Then I called my lawyer, a woman I'd hired a year ago, after Joshua had stolen my laptop and sold it to buy Yvette a new purse, and told her to start the paperwork for changing my name. No more Sophie Norton. I was done being a shadow. The next time the nurse came in, I asked her for a pen and a piece of paper. My handwriting was shaky, but I wrote the note slowly, carefully, making sure every word was perfect. "I'm gone. Don't look for me. You chose her 99 times over. This is the 100th time I choose myself." I left the note on the nightstand, along with the key to my room, the same room I'd grown up in, the same room that had always been too small, too dark, too full of Yvette's hand-me-downs. Then I packed my bag, slung it over my shoulder, and walked out of the hospital without looking back. The air outside was crisp, the sky a pale, hazy blue. I hailed a cab, gave the driver an address, a small town 3 hours away where no one knew my name, and settled back into the seat, watching the city pass by. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel angry. I just felt free. I stayed in a motel for the first week, living off microwave dinners and coffee, while I searched for an apartment. I found a tiny studio on the second floor of an old house, with a window that looked out onto a park. The rent was cheap, the landlord was nice, and no one asked questions about my past. I bought a new phone,